Coming up next on Code 20.
On a big rig pursuit like that, they're really nuts.
The night is already starting off interesting.
Alrighty, we're low on fuel, so we're gonna grab some gas. But just a quick update: Gabe's on a barricade with someone in a van. Some other story. We'll touch on that later. Keith right now has a passing shot on a big rig pursuit. It's an unreported stolen. The owner of the big rig, it sounds like, is following that stolen vehicle. I don't know if he tracked it or what the deal is, but Keith is currently on the 5 southbound, just past the 170, which is north of where we're at. But it is a unreported stolen, so it is stolen. It just hasn't, they haven't done all the report on it at this point. It's not officially stolen, but it is. They're in pursuit southbound at Lancashire. 76 in a big rig, so pretty fast and it is with the trailer apparently. Keith has passing. Let's take a look at that. So that's the passing shot. Keith's going to stay on it. We're going to cover. He's going to stay with that until the end. On a big rig pursuit like that, they're really nuts usually. So we're gonna Keith's gonna stay on that, and we're gonna keep checking in with him. Any updates that we hear, we're gonna pass on to you, and of course we'll see the termination. So that's where we're at with the big rig pursuit. The night is already starting off interesting. Alrighty, we've got the big rig is stopped at this point. It's actually caught on fire. I'm watching it live here on Fox. The guys are there. We've got Randy on the ground on the freeway. He's getting the fire. Apparently the CHP unit that's right next to the truck, the keys were locked in that unit. They can't move it, and that truck's catching on fire pretty quickly. Fiberglass burns very fast and very intensely, so I'm hoping they can move that CHP unit back. Maybe they can use the other unit and push it back. But that's not going to be a good situation here in a second. Keith is up in a residential area. The suspect got out of the truck, foot bailed, and ran into a residential area. He was trying doors for cars and trying to get into people's apartments. It sounds like they just got him into custody. Randy's down on the freeway getting some incredible footage of the truck that's on fire, which we knew was going to catch on fire. They had a good spike strip. Anytime you have a good spike strip on big rigs, of course it's going to get those front tires. Once those front tires disintegrate, it lands on metal, on concrete, and as they're going along, they're trying to steer a load that heavy. You're going to get a lot of sparks flying up into the fiberglass. Of course, you have your fuel tanks underneath there as well. So once you have a fire in the wheel well on a big rig, the rest is history. Incredible footage from Randy on the ground that he's capturing. I just heard him on the radio. Alex, let's do this. We're gonna go over, which I haven't seen their footage yet. I know how they shoot, and these guys are really good. Let's go and take a look at Randy's shot, and then I'm sure Keith has the suspect, so let's go and take a look at that as well. Let's see what the guys are seeing on the ground as it's transpiring. I'm here watching the helicopter. You guys get to see it firsthand on the ground. Let's go take a look. So back here with us, the guys did an incredible job. Keith stayed with it all the way out of Santa Clarita. The interesting thing on this too is that the owner of the truck was actually following the guy who stole it. It sounded like it was at a gas station. Suspect jumped in, took off with the guy's truck. I mean, unbelievable happening. But he jumped in another car. I don't know if it was a friend or somebody that was there with him, or maybe a good Samaritan, jumped in the car, goes chasing after the truck and the suspect in it, gets CHP in the right position, and unfortunately the truck caught on fire and the guy's losing that, which I'm hoping insurance covers it, of course. Really terrible for him, his livelihood, everything. I'm really hoping that's insured. If it's not, we'll look into that and see. We'll check on the circumstances of that before I speak too much on that point. But guys did an incredible job. You guys are seeing it firsthand here as this transpired, and we are going to be on to the next one once Keith gets back to the valley so we can get out of here. But great job by everybody on the team. Really, really incredible stuff, and they do such a beautiful job. I have to say the footage is always top tier. Probably one of the best news teams for breaking news in the world, I would say. So we'll be on to the next one. We're behind Gabe. We are on the 110. Oh, thanks, Gabe. I appreciate that. We are on the 110 northbound coming through downtown. We're heading to the AT&T building because there's actually a large data outage right now. Mostly across the US. Down detector. I was just on that site. There's a ton of reports. Thousands of reports of people without internet. It's about 2 in the morning. I'm not sure how vast the scope is in reality on this, but preemptively, Gabe had a good idea. Which he has good ideas fairly often. Yeah? Tay's like, Gabe has like good ideas fairly often. We're following him to the AT&T building, and he's going to be shooting some exteriors just in case this is a bigger situation than we are thinking right now. And that's what we're doing. So we're here north of downtown, passing the Da Vinci building, as always. I always remember that thing on fire. Alex, cut to some footage of the Da Vinci building on fire. You can see it right here to our right. Give me some Da Vinci fuego. And we're going to be passing by the Disney Concert Hall. It's going to be here on our right. Beautiful building. Really, really beautiful building. How cool is that, huh? And then we're on Upper Grand. Lower Grand, we've been down. There's been a few videos down there that we've shot. I feel like we're close, or at least in a spot that we... Oh, there it is. Perfect. Look at that, the big AT&T logo. Alrighty. And we'll ask Gabe what he knows about the outage. He seemed to have been researching it a little bit more. Well, a lot bit more than us. I just heard from him that it was happening. And down detector, of course. But we'll see who's being affected and how far. And yeah.
Victory in the Hollywood Freeway. We'll find a road fire. Do anything further.
And we do have a water main break on Wellington. We're going to keep an ear on that and see what City Fire says.
Metro from SK94, do you want to swap calls with SK34 and then cancel into 94?
Big building, huh? Jeez.
5.5 low battery. A lot of people are reporting that there are AT&T outages, and it's not just local to LA, it's nationwide, and apparently it's affecting Verizon too, and T-Mobile, and Cricket. But I'm on Verizon. Are you on Verizon?
No, I'm on T-Mobile.
I haven't had any issues.
Everything's been fine for me.
So we're gonna shoot the AT&T building.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
And if the FBI is watching, it's all good.
This might be one of the dumbest things I've shot.
No, the dumbest thing I shot was a stupid the little trailer at USC.
The only reason you're bringing that up is because...
At Santa Ida 40. Pursuit termination, crash, 215 suspect. In pursuit. Gonna continue. Don't know if they went into a, in case it goes OAS.
All right.
He's in the wind.
The only reason you're bringing that up is because I made you shoot the trailer. It wasn't that small. It was the trailer. Do your job. Yes, Gabe had to film a trailer a couple episodes back. It was a stolen trailer. It was a following. There was more to the story. It wasn't just...
You want to stop talking for 10 seconds?
It wasn't.
What?
It wasn't just a trailer. There was more to it. Show him your patch. That patch is not available for purchase. I don't know where he got that, actually. The guys are used to filming craziness all the time, right? And then when there's an incident that's just a B-roll shot or a static shot, they can't deal with it because it's not the usual insanity. So, but it was Gabe's idea. It was his idea to shoot this. I didn't tell him to shoot this. This was his idea. Don't let him tell you otherwise.
Well, do they even have a fucking cell tower on this thing? Because all I see are the long line microwaves that don't work anymore. Well, no one will know.
It's
Right?
I mean, it's the story, right? A little low on your exposure there. A little low. Let me tell you how to film really quick.
Let me tell you how to do your job. You know what? Why don't you go film a little trailer for me?
Ask me to film. You've never asked me to film a little trailer. If you did, I would do it. If you said, "Hey, I need you."
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm trying to fix this.
No, it's fine.
I'm trying to fix this for you. If you,
423, 1022, code 4, all suspects investigated.
if you said, "Hey, can you go film this, like, part of the story that helps tell the story for me?" Do you think I would go film it?
Yes.
Okay.
I had this at the perfect length. Now it's been ruined.
Gabe's a little OCD, and by a little I mean. And anytime you mess with the car or the camera or anything,
Don't touch my thing.
it sends him into
a rage.
Internally, I can see that it's just.
He's gonna snap one day.
You think so?
You're gonna be the first one.
He comes knocking on the door. He goes, "You moved my tripod."
Someone's been in my car.
Who's been in your car?
Someone. I got in and the seat was different.
Was it really?
Yeah.
No, wait, when?
Like 2 days ago.
No, it wasn't.
I got in, I parked it in the driveway. I got back in the next day to go to work. And it just felt different.
No one got in your car, dude. No one got in your car. Oh, sorry, excuse me. It's gonna be the best B-roll of that building ever shot.
You know what those antennas are called though, right? They're called microwave horns.
Microwave horns?
They look like a horn. What's this guy want?
That's interesting.
He's been cruising around for a while.
Microwave horns?
Stuck behind them. Yeah.
Microwave horns. How's it going?
How you doing, sir?
Doing well, boss.
Sorry to bother you.
You're good.
Did you hear anybody screaming?
Screaming? No, we've been here.
Yelling?
How long have we been here for?
Like 10 minutes?
Oh,
No, less than that. Like 5 minutes?
yes, sir.
Yeah, we didn't hear any screams or anything.
Yeah, there's a woman. She stopped over here on 5th and Figueroa. She said her son was over here, like on a ledge.
That would be Grand, right? Lower Grand's right here. This goes down onto Grand, so.
Yeah, so nothing.
We didn't see it, but again, we got here like 5 minutes ago. So if a call was generated, it probably was generated before.
No, you haven't heard any yet.
Not since we got here, no.
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay, thank you.
That's terrifying. We'll look around. We'll call you if we see anything.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Sarge. That's creepy. Do you want me to take a look down Lower Grand? I was gonna take. You want to take a look?
No, I'm just gonna
I like.
look over.
Well, I don't.
If you went,
don't leave the camera like that.
Well, if he looks.
All right. Come on. It's up to you.
That's why he was driving so weird.
Yeah. There's people down there with the motorcycle. Huh?
Call him a squid.
Do a wheelie. Did you notice this, Gabe? The dent where the car went in? You did that? I haven't heard anything, and there's a guy on a motorcycle down there, but it is too cold to ride.
My fingers are
We have not been riding. I'm definitely a fair weather rider. If it's like below what, 60, 65, 70,
no.
65? Yeah. If it's below that, then I will not be on the bike. I like being comfy and warm.
Cute hand movers.
Yep, the hand gloves. Hand gloves. What other kind of gloves? Remember the knife earlier?
Hand gloves,
The hand knife?
as opposed
She
to
said hand knife.
gloves.
Yeah.
Socks.
And you go.
Didn't you have Machete Man in the valley?
No. Was there Machete Man in the valley?
Yeah.
I didn't hear him.
He was on the, I think he was on the metro train.
Machete Man is everywhere and nowhere.
I think there's a big AT&T logo street side, so.
Oh, at the building?
Yeah.
Okay. We can go down there.
It's been getting stuck lately.
That's not good. Is it? Whoa. That's no bueno. You got some. You use it so much. Wow, look at that.
Is it worn out?
No, it's a little gunky?
I've been using it more than you.
No. You think so? It's got a little bit of gunk in there. You gotta de-gunkify it. Ooh. You have a solid lockup. Yeah, you gotta get in there with a Q-tip. So you do that, and then you gotta get in there with a Q-tip and just clean that out a little bit.
Spray a little bit of silicone grease in there.
Yeah, just a tiny. Honestly, I wouldn't even use a grease. I would just take a Q-tip and just clean it, and then just leave it dry. Because if just in the wedge, you can put lubricant down in the striker, but I wouldn't put lubricant on the top.
Then it's gonna get a loop on my shoulder.
No, it'll collect dust. Oh, it's like crusty. Why is yours? Did you get sand in this? It feels like sand. Ooh. No, we gotta fix that. That's like. Oh, I can hear it. Can you hear it? Oh man. Okay.
Remember, I've been to the beach. And
I know. At End of Watch, if you want to give this to me or you want to just swing by, I can pull that apart and fix it for you. I'll lubricate it and clean it, polish it.
I can give you the plate and.
No, just come
Give it
by.
to me
It
tomorrow.
takes like 2 seconds.
All right.
Right.
Okay, say goodbye. This is becoming monotonous.
What?
Y'all are talking about sand.
All right. Try pulling it off now. See if that's a little better. All I did was blow on it. Yeah, it's just.
It's a little janky.
Yeah. No, it's just dirt in the thing. All right, come on, let's go down. We're gonna go down and film the sign.
Are we gonna walk?
No, let's take the cars. B-roll stories. You start to lose it a little on the B-roll stories. Go a little nuts. It's him though. He causes the craziness. It's not me. You done? Are there any stories that we haven't covered on Code 2.0 that you've covered that are interesting? Yeah, anything interesting in the last month? Did we miss anything?
No.
We talked about all of them?
It's just been weather.
Yeah, it has been weather, right? It's like all the rain stuff. No floodings,
I'm going back and thinking, what have I posted on Instagram?
No, you had PCH, the
Oh, it's just
PCH
like
thing.
The street like crumbling?
Yeah, that's like crazy. The ocean is reclaiming. Tell them what happened.
We had a big storm. Surf got pretty high. Storm surge took out the right-hand shoulder of southbound lanes of PCH at just south of Point Magoo at Thornhill Broom Beach. And if you're familiar with PCH or California landmarks, it's right at the big sand dune.
But the ocean reclaimed the asphalt and everything.
Oh yeah, it's down there.
Is there any plans for them to open it up again? Has to be, right?
Yeah, they have to put in some fill there.
Are they going to put a bridge? I mean, do you know what the plan is or no? Something.
This is closed indefinitely until they figure it out.
Is traffic going through at all? Do they have lanes?
They're closing it nightly from, I think, 7 to 6 a.m.
Okay.
Because it's dark down there, so I'm assuming that's just so people don't drive off.
Into the ocean.
I think it's just a safety issue at night, but not during the day.
Wild stuff. Well, let's take a look at that footage. PCH being reclaimed by the ocean. Gabe went out there and shot that. Let's take a look. Pretty crazy footage out there with the ocean taking the asphalt out. I mean, it's really, really incredible stuff to see how powerful that is. And you had something to add?
No, what sucks is that Caltrans had just resurfaced that stretch of PCH, I want to say within the last like couple of years.
Brand new asphalt.
Brand new, smooth.
Back in the ocean.
it was you know,
yeah.
the really dark asphalt, nice
Yeah.
and smooth, and now they're gonna have to rip up that section, redo it, and it's not gonna be smooth sailing through there.
But again, looking at the amount of the tides and the surf and the amount of rain that we had at that time period, or at this time in the year, I mean, it's what, double, triple what we normally see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in that stretch there should be, I don't know if there was any riprap on the cliff there, so that might have been a contributing factor.
Gotcha. So sediment coming down from the other side and adding to the weight.
They didn't have the rocks to prevent
Gotcha.
that.
Gotcha. All right. Well, you done with your B-roll?
Yeah.
Gabe's done with his B-roll. We're gonna jump back in and we'll be on to the next one. Actually, do you want to do the out? Do you want to send us to the next call?
We are moving on to the next call. It's probably gonna be a water main break.
All right, we're going to the next call. We're out of here. Legitimate water main. I think I said that on the radio. And I gotta be careful here, these are not always stops. Oh, funny, I wanna talk about this really quick. In Sacramento, I was in Sacramento, I was working with Pat on, it was the bait car show that we did. Sacramento, he said you're 97 with the kitty. Sacramento, on the back of the stop signs, they paint the back of the stop signs red. I know that sounds like the dumbest thing. I don't know if have I mentioned this at all on here? No? Right now, look, check this out. Here, I'll back up a little bit so we can see. Check this out. We're coming up to an intersection, right? It does not say always stop, right? See underneath the stop sign, you don't have that extra always stop, right? So it's just stop for us. If you're not paying attention to that, you're not gonna notice. And then I'm gonna inch out a little so I can check and make sure we're clear, right? But when I look to my left and to my right, I don't see the stop signs, right? You normally wouldn't notice them because they're like that, they're gray. You just don't see them, right? So even if there were stop signs on the cross traffic, you wouldn't really notice them because they're gray or silver or whatever. In Sacramento, they paint the back red and reflective, and it's the best thing in the world. I was driving there, and I'm coming up to the intersection, I look and I'm like, there's the back of a stop sign, that's so cool. So I know that it's an always stop, or not an always stop, because you're looking, right? Because now here, look, we don't have a stop sign, but the cross traffic does, right? But if they were red there, then I would know there's a stop sign there. This is quite the water main. This is for a residential, this is very large. What is that down here? I don't want to fall in a sinkhole. I assume that's FD. No, it's DWP. They're here already. Well, let's start here, and then I'll make. Wow, that is like over the curb. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Oh, it's over people's front lawns. Holy cow. Quite the water main here. Oh wow, look at this. Alrighty, DWP's out doing their thing. We're gonna back in over here, get some footage. Try not to run over a cone, but no promises. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. It's like up on people's lawns. I am shocked by this. Alright, let's back up a little bit. Alright, let's get some shots. Wow, look at this. Impressive. Got the whole neighborhood out here. Crazy. This poor guy. Wow, wow, wow. That is, usually residentials aren't that powerful. I'm surprised actually at how much this one's coming up. Gabe was right, by the way. What did Gabe say? He said you're gonna be at a water main? Yeah. He knew. This is really intense for a residential, huh, Tay? Try not to get too wet. We already had like how many days of water? Looks like they're just getting the valve shut down, which is great. But the unfortunate thing is that pretty much everybody on the street right now is going to be without water. And that's really, really not cool. But again, we have a very large, a very old, let me get this shot really quick. We have a very old infrastructure when it comes to our water systems here in the city of Los Angeles, and this is a very common, fairly common, oh, it's getting worse. They're just turning it off. It's a fairly common thing, and there's plenty of reasons for this to happen, but with the piping infrastructure being as old as it is, anything can cause this. A fissure, somebody turns off a hydrant, you know, they're working a fire down here, firefighter turns off a hydrant, or DWP is working on another pipe and they shut it down too quickly. It'll cause a ripple to go through the pipe, basically from the point of the shutoff to where we are here, and it's looking for a weak spot. And it found it. That or the pipe's just really old. A lot of these pipes are like, what, 80, every time I see the date on these, they're like 1930, 1940. Some are, you know, in the 50s. So it's, they're old pipes and they're underground, they're sitting there with water. Let's go down to that other street and get that flooding that we had initially when we came up. Yeah, really, all the gravel too, although the street comes out. Well, we've seen that before with the gravel shooting out of the roadway. But yeah, let's go down, let's get some of that flooding, and we'll be out of here. Linked up with Gabe here. Earlier, he shot another SpaceX launch. How many SpaceX launches have you shot now?
I've over a dozen over the years. It's got to be in the 2 dozen now.
Okay. Is this one unique?
No fancy backdrop or anything. It was just, you know, getting the job done. Here's the rocket. There's no downtown in the background.
Alrighty.
It's not my, if I don't have like a scenic thing to shoot, they're not, you know, it's just, like I said, it's just getting the job done.
I think it looks beautiful though.
The shot. There was a little bit of like purple hue to the vapor trail today.
I think it looks beautiful. The start's gorgeous, and then the top. I always want to show them. They're so beautiful. Alex, if we could, let's take a look at the Simi Valley SpaceX Starlink launch that Gabe did earlier this evening. Let's take a look at that. So back out here with Gabe, there was a couple incidents that happened I was talking about earlier. I mentioned briefly, this was like just before, this was before or during the truck pursuit, right? It was during?
Yeah, I think it started before.
Yeah, it started before, but then while you were dealing with that, the truck pursuit.
Yeah, I got out of the car and then suddenly, the guys are they're chasing a big rig.
There's a big rig on fire. So give us a rundown. I want to just give me a rundown on what happened basically with the Harvard. And again, the story title on that, Alex, it's Harvard Heights armed barricade suspect in ambulance. So give me the rundown on that.
So I guess from what I was able to hear from what the SWAT guys were telling the suspect, the suspect called for an ambulance because he wanted help. The ambulance came and it was like it looked like an outpatient facility or like a assisted living facility of some kind. The ambulance shows up, he gets in the ambulance, he pulls out a knife. Then
in the ambulance, like once they got him in.
Yeah. LAPD shows up and they try to talk him out for a couple of hours. That didn't work. The Metro guys show up. They talk to him for about 30 minutes. He gets a little crazy. He throws something at them. They don't know what it was.
And really quick, who are the Metro guys for people that don't know?
LAPD SWAT. So they're talking to him for a little while. He throws something at them. They fire a beanbag, not at him. They fire it as a warning shot, like at the door of the ambulance. So they didn't actually hit him with the beanbag. So he's still, going off, talking about God and whatever in his mind as to what's keeping him in the ambulance. Negotiations obviously aren't working. Metro brings out 2 Bearcats. As soon as the Bearcat touches the ambulance, he's out.
So clearly, so the SWAT truck touched it and he just gave up.
He wanted to meet God, but not like that.
Okay. In all seriousness, though, pretty a mental health thing, I'm assuming, or just kind of an outcry for help at this point?
Yeah, he had they said it was a knife, but it sounded like it was more of like a razor. It might have been a box cutter.
Okay, but still a weapon.
A weapon, and he had cut himself in the leg.
Oh, wow. Okay, so self-inflicted cut. Yeah, I was reading the write-up and I saw the footage. I mean, crazy thing. And again, we talk about it a lot on Code 2.0 here. There's so many situations that we see every single night, and again, most of them don't make it to air with you guys or the stations for that matter. We have so many situations that come up where and you're watching this unfold, what Gabe had, this situation unfolding that he was explaining. And you think about that, like, okay, guy's got a knife, he's in an ambulance. Like, that's a pretty wild situation. There's a lot of departments that would use serious levels of force and sometimes lethal force in a case like that. And for LAPD to show up and talk this guy out, obviously showing up with the Bearcat is a major show of force. They showed up with an armored vehicle. But to show up and then de-escalate the situation to the point where they're able to help this guy, whether it be the stab wound to the leg, which is self-inflicted, or a mental health crisis situation, they're able to help him and get him services instead of him, ending up at the county morgue. So a very good result for this situation.
And the negotiator was saying, like, we don't want to hurt you. We want to get you the help that you called.
Do you hear that on tape? Do you hear that on the?
I think I have that on tape.
So Alex, if you haven't already, I'm sure maybe you've shown a little bit of video, but let's take a look at that situation, how that unfolded over in Harvard Heights.
Bitches.
back out here with us now. Gabe was mentioning there was one other thing. The guy noticed you got filming.
Yeah, he looked over at me and he like looked into my soul.
Did he say anything?
Yeah, he called me a.
Alex, we're gonna have to bleep that out. Sorry, Alex, bleep that out. We can't use that word here on Code 20. But the suspect says it, so bleep out the suspect, and then Gabe was quoting, so bleep out both, please.
We were all cracking up at the scene.
I don't even know what to say about that.
Officers looked over and I had like a big grin on my face.
Gabe loves it. All right, well, I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad you're okay, and it was only a little bit of name calling. I'm gonna go back to your story list here. I know there's been a couple stories that you've covered where I've been like, hey, that's pretty wild, and I feel like we haven't touched on them. But again, this week got so out of hand with all the weather and the rain and all the craziness. Tell me some of the highlights from your weather clips. Maybe we can go check out some of those.
I shot some rain in downtown. I tried to make it, there's shooting rain just to shoot rain, and then there's shooting rain.
Cinematic rain.
Cinematic
rain.
If I have the time, if I'm in the place and I have the time to do it, then I will make it cinematic, and that's what I did in downtown.
Just for Alex, it's going to be February 21st, downtown LA rain.
Yes,
that's what Gabe's talking about. Let's take a look at the cinematic rain. Actually, that's really beautiful. Let's roll the tape on that. So there's one other story, and I don't think we talked about it. Did we talk about the Green Meadows, the fatal fire, with the interview that you did, the really good interview?
Oh yeah, that one.
We didn't talk about that.
I don't think we've talked about that one.
Tell me about that. The Green Meadows major emergency structure fire, and well, there is an interview on there too. So do you want the soundbite to speak for you, or do you want?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, Alex, it's going to be the Green Meadows major emergency structure fire fatality update. It sounds like somebody lost their lives in that, which is terrifying. The PIO, there's PIO information there. Let's start with that and roll that incident. Let LA City Fire explain what happened on that one.
Adam Van Gerpen, spelled V-A-N, capital G-E-R, Captain, Public Information Officer.
Can you tell me what happened here this morning?
Yes, at 1:17 this morning, our LAFD firefighters were dispatched to a major emergency structure fire in South LA. Upon arrival, they found a well-involved one-story commercial with heavy fire showing through the roof. Our firefighters initiated an aggressive fire attack using forcible entry and hand lines, making an interior fire attack. Approximately 10 minutes into the fire, the structure became compromised with the fire through the roof, and our firefighters ended up backing out of the fire. So we had a total of 113 firefighters on scene. We had a knockdown of this fire in approximately 75 minutes. After knockdown of the fire, doing a search and rescue inside this building, unfortunately, we have located one victim inside, and we're still doing a search to see if there's any more victims. So at this time, we have one confirmed fatality. Yeah, so initially, we thought this was vacant, but this does appear to be a cannabis grow operation. The cause is under investigation, and we do have investigators on scene right now. Our firefighters did an outstanding job of aggressively knocking down this fire within the 75 minutes.
LA City Fire always does a great job with their interviews with us, giving us pertinent information. They're just super pro. It's great to have them available at scene for us on incidents like that. One last thing, there was a incident in Malibu where the waves and all the storm and everything that we've had resulted in part of PCH actually like flowing back into the ocean. It's really incredible stuff, actually. It goes to show how powerful Mother Nature can be. Great example. There's a press conference that Gabe went to Ventura County Winter Storm press conference and sandbag fill, which is pretty cool. They were giving out they were giving out sandbags, right?
Yeah, and that was in Simi Valley, and they don't. You know, it's a serious, because I don't recall. I mean, they've done it a few times, but I don't recall like sandbag fills in Simi Valley.
Right. And the amount of rain that we've had though recently has been, I don't want to say biblical proportions, but it's very uncommon.
It's
for
to
us.
the point where it doesn't matter where you live; it's nowhere is safe.
Right. Exactly. We saw
And not
100.
to be an alarmist or anything, but that's just how it's been with the amount of water we've been getting.
Right, and it's about 100% coverage. Everyone's talking about the atmospheric river, which I haven't heard that term ever until these storms
Is it
have
El
come through.
Nino, or is it the occasional atmospheric river that kind of flows over?
You know,
El Nino.
I have not. I have not heard El Nino references. Gabe covered this press briefing, which kind of gives you an idea as to what we're experiencing out here. I know that there's, again, for the rest of the United States and the world, everybody's going, you guys are like ridiculous out here with the rain. But for us in Los Angeles, you have to understand how uncommon this is. We've had like, 4 times the amount of rainfall that we normally have? I want to say about 4 or 5 times.
When it rains here, it either rains a little bit or we just get drowned in it.
Right. Gabe covered this incredible briefing that he went to. They did a great job. And then there's also footage of like the Malibu PCH washout. Alex, if you could, let's take a look and listen, I should say, to the Ventura County Winter Storm press conference, and let's use some of the visuals over the last couple weeks, really, of what we're experiencing now, of rain footage.
We've been like in rain mode for about a month.
Yeah, it's been incredible, actually. But let's take a look at some of that rain footage, some of the good stuff that the guys have shot, obviously Gabe included, and then the big thing is obviously the Malibu washout. So we'll maybe start with that and let the press conference play out, and hear kind of the details of what we're experiencing. Let's take a look.
Captain Brian McGrath of Ventura County Fire.
Okay, can you walk us through right now what's rolling through your mind in terms of what residents need to know?
Well, right now, the local fire agencies, we are staffing extra personnel and extra equipment throughout the night and throughout the whole storm. So I want everyone to know that we're here, we're going to be ready for whatever happens in the upcoming storm. Now, in the event that you do have flooding around your house, please be aware of what's going on. See if you can clear that drain. Go out, do prep work for your house, start taking care of yourself. If you are in an area you always have flooding, go grab some sandbags now. Get that set up before the storm gets here. If you provide a good defense, when we show up, we can help with the offense. If you know your streets and you know your surroundings and you know an area normally floods, please get out early so that way you and your family members are safe. With that being said, make sure that you're registered at vcalert.org. That way we can notify you of any kind of evacuations or road closures in your area. Now, you can also monitor this incident at vcemergency.com. That website, we've got the evacuation orders, the advisories. You can put your address in to find out where you're at in relation to that. Look at road closures, as well as all of the shelters will be listed there. And locally, our shelters open tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Flash flooding would be something we're going to be concerned about. What we see more of is rising of creeks and streams and the roadways getting blocked because of debris and or the flooding. Now, but the other big concern is the high winds that are coming. Now that our grounds are saturated, you're going to add more water to it. You add these high winds to it, you're going to have a higher chance of trees getting blown over and blocking the roadway so we can't get out. And that's what we are staffing 5 utilities with 2 people on it, and they're very versatile, very maneuverable. They can get around. They have chainsaws so they can get these trees and these roads opened up as quickly as possible. We do not throw out evacuation orders and warnings easily. We understand that if we put them too much, it's called fatigue, evacuation fatigue. Well, I've done it before and it was fine. Well, if we ask you to leave, this is serious, and we feel that it is very important for your safety and your family's safety that you get out, and you get out now.
It's again great to see with that press conference kind of lays out everything that we've been experiencing for the last couple weeks, even since the beginning of the year. This entire year, last year as well, have been just over the top as far as how much water has been coming out of the sky here in LA. I know that sounds so stupid, right? Like, like there's rain, it's raining. I can't believe it.
It's a regular thing in Seattle.
Right, it's a regular thing pretty much everywhere in the world except for here. And you see how it is when it rains. The infrastructure is not designed for it. We've got, you know, you guys saw PCH falling into the ocean. We've got the landslides that we've seen. We've seen mud going through people's houses. Just pure pandemonium out here. And it's honestly, I'm kind of tired of it because it's not what we're used to. We're usually in a drought, like a perpetual drought. And that's a problem too, is we don't save enough of our water. I don't want to get too into the reasonings for that, but there's a lot of rainfall like we're having now. LA, specifically LA County, does not capture enough water for what our needs are, which is why we take water from Northern California and beyond. But as far as where we're at tonight, I'll leave that at that. As far as where we're at tonight, we had that crazy big rig pursuit, but Gabe, you weren't involved in the pursuit because you were on the guy in the ambulance.
I got out of the car for like 2 minutes, and then it's like, oh, the guys are chasing a big rig.
It's on fire. So, the guys did an incredible job. Keith and Randy, absolutely, I can't commend them enough. That was such a brilliant job that they did out there on that incident, being able to cover both aspects, passing everything. I mean, they did like a literal top tier job. We're hearing some weirdness out here too. I'm hearing something weird. But yeah, we're back here. Was there anything to add on the any of the other stories, or are you good at this point?
No, I think we're good.
All right, Gabe's stories. We're caught up on Gabe's stories. That's fantastic. We are staged up and ready. We'll see what we get into. We'll be on to. Oh, do you want to do it? Do you want to say we're on to the next one, or do you want me to do it?
The Dodgers had 3 RBIs in the second inning. Steve Garvey threw a couple of good pitches. Now let's go back to this one.
No. It's on.
As Vince Scully would say.
Right. No. For us on Coach Zero, we're on to the next one. We're going to be on to the next one.
Yeah.
Say it.
What do you mean?
All right. I'm stuck here with this maniac. We'll be on to the next one. We'll see you at the next scene.
What's wrong with you?